Hello everybody and welcome to the Drop Ass YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about Mega Scizor and why it's good and quite frankly why it can be really effective in the current standard format. The main attacker of the deck is of course Mega Scizor. Iron Crusher as far as an attack is really good on the basis that it does two-shot everything within the format and the fact that it discards both special energy and or a stadium from one of your opponent's Pokemon. The reason this is kind of important is special energy is being abused by a very large majority of the decks right now, whether it be DCEs and or honestly shield energy is not terrible either. And it just gives you a lot of different options going into your opponent. And like I said, most decks are playing DC, limiting their resources with that, or at least keeping it so that they can't consistently build up, a big Mewtwo, or always have an energy in play on a Mega Ray, something like that, and having to constantly gain resources to play them to eventually lose the Pokemon. It just has kind of an advantageous play style. Now the stadium discussion, there's a lot of really good stadiums to play right now. Shrine of Memories is getting utilized quite heavily by Mega Mewtwo. Parallel City here, it's good in just about every deck because Hoopa's really good for Megas. So you can play a Hoopa, grab most of your EX attackers, and then bounce the Hoopa and whatever other Pokemon you don't want off your bench. Also, we do have Vespiquen still in the format, and it's still pretty effective, so reducing their damage can be efficient as well. Besides the fact that a lot of decks do play parallel, so Scizor can always control the stadium. The other stadium that's really important to bring up is actually Shrine of Memories. The reason this is really effective right now is that Mega Mewtwo right now is one of the best decks in the format, at least on paper. And with Shrine of Memories, you're able to use an attack called Damage Change. The thing about Damage Change is that you can nearly always keep your Mewtwo healthy, at least to utilize it. There's not a lot of things that actually one-shot a Mewtwo right now, and that might be something it's changed, whether it be more people tech in Mews or utilizes Mew EX, who is now illegal for standard play with battle deck being introduced. It's just kind of one of those things that's not currently being explored, but Mewtwo's pretty hard to kill, and Damage Change is a good attack, especially with a Mega sitting on top of it. So stadiums are important. You can control stadiums. It's kind of just good baseline. Now, part of the reason we're building the list this particular way is me personally, I don't enjoy the Garbodor variant. It feels clunky. It doesn't synergize really well with anything within the deck itself. And there's not a whole lot of abilities I actually care about stopping. If my opponent chooses to bench down Shaymins, the majority of the time we can Lysander and kill them, which is honestly our best targets to kill. If for whatever reason in the matchup our opponent's able to play around Iron Crusher's discard effects, or they don't play down a lot of energy, so Crushing Hammers become less efficient, etc. So honestly, stopping their Shaymins as good as it is and as disruptive as it is, it's not really necessary for the deck to function. We almost want cheap targets on the field to take an early prize lead. One of the other things that Mega Scizor has going for it has a very good backup attacker in Cobalion. We actually saw a Cobalion at the World Championships in a couple different decks. Mostly Magearna was playing it, the Steel Magearna variants. Quick Guard is very good in a big basic format. We don't have one currently, but this is actually kind of your saving grace against Volcanion, which we'll go into a little bit later. But Revenge Blast, as far as an attack, is very good, and that it's pretty easy to use this card as a revenge attacker, or actually as a late game, low cost sweeper. I've actually closed out several different games by just using Revenge Blast when my opponents had one prize to take. So it's a pretty good card. That's part of the reason we play two, just because in some matchups, like Volcanion, like as mentioned, and most of the Vileplume variants, you actually really need this card just so you don't get rolled over. I just have a preference towards two. You can very easily cut it and play anything else. Now, part of the reason we're playing Magearna is actually part of the conversation with Mega Mewtwo. With Magikarp, and when the ability is in effect, damage change doesn't put any damage counters on your Scizors. And you might be saying, well, why do I care about that? They're going to probably have a Garbodor up. A lot of the times they may, but also right now, a lot of the, I would call, more aggressive variants of the deck are cutting Garbodor altogether, meaning that their actual matchup into Mega Scizor gets significantly worse if they can't just one-shot a Magearna EX. And to be honest, it's fairly difficult because it would require them to Lysander him, twice, which gives you kind of free reign on their board. We do play some float stones, mostly just as free retreats with Magearna because its attack isn't particularly good, and it gives Cobalion free retreat. Also, retreating into using Gale Thrust with Scizor if you're ever running into Giratina is a very good option. The attack does 110 if Scizor becomes the active for that turn. It's a pretty effective attack. We play one Escape Rope right now just to enable Gale Thrust when we want it, or to get another Mewtwo into the active. Something that I've noticed in the matchup is they'll build up one Mewtwo and then damage change quite a bit to set up another one on their bench just to kind of stall for time and then be efficient. Escape Rope helps with it. I wouldn't say it makes the matchup significantly easier, but it does give you some options. Also, Regice is still a card. Not a very popular one, but having options into that would be good. We are playing Mega Turbos. There are Elixir builds of this deck that do function pretty well. I've found them to be a lot less consistent than Mega Turbo, which is part of the reason we're choosing to play this variant. One Super Odd, just as good Pokemon recovery. Like we talked about with Mewtwo having a hard time killing Magearna, if they do end up killing it, you can Super Odd it back, and then they're spending another 2 turns killing it again. And a lot of the times at that point, you're probably going to get a very large prize lead. 3 Trainer's Mail instead of 4 is just because of space limitations. Like I said, Cobalion is kind of a free slot to play around with. I would definitely prefer to have 2 over having a 4th Trainer's Mail, but some people are very much obsessed with having the most consistency possible within a list, so that's just something I think about. We do play 4 Ultra Ball, very standard. I'm playing 4 VS Seeker, and this is a conversation I've actually had several times with different people. This is a format where you actually don't need to play 4 VS Seeker. It's very good when you play multiple one-of supporters. And right now, the one-of supporters we do play is Flare Grunt, Pokemon Center Lady, and Hexmaniac. And Hexmaniac's actually mostly for Giratina. A lot of decks have been splashing Giratina. Fairy variants splash it right now. Darks variants can. It's just better to have one than not. I'd much rather have this over like a Ranger or really anything else. It's just a good one-of. Flare Gun's just kind of a good energy removal tool. One thing Mega Ray players have done is they've put Magearnas into their deck so that they can't have their DCs knocked off by Iron Crusher. It lets us basically Flare Grunt, then Iron Crusher, and they have to expend another Turbo and attach a DCE for turn. It makes it a lot harder on them. It's also just kind of a good card. There's some fairly obscure situations where your opponent just might not have an energy. You can knock it off the active, bounce their stadium, and they're just having to dig for more resources. It's just kind of good baseline. Pokemon Center Lady is actually the card that I find the most surprising in the deck, not because that you're playing it, but how effective it is at clinching out some wins. Like I was talking about with Mega Mewtwo, it's really hard to knock out high HP Megas right now. We don't have a lot of raw power in any particular attacks. Most of your attacks do, 120, 130, 150, just kind of general numbers within that range. Pokemon Center Lady turns your 2 shots into a 3 shot, which means you have more time to set up other attackers and dedicate more resources to other things, which allows you to develop a board and actually be able to execute a strategy. Because it is a slower format, cards like Pokemon Center Lady gain increasing amounts of value when the format is slower. So it's one of those cards that I definitely recommend you try. I've definitely actually thought about increasing the count, but again, space is kind of an issue. Um, just something to think about. For Sycamore, you could play one less and add another N. I personally like discard effects because we're trying to get some basic steel energy into our discard for Mega Turbo, but that's preference more than anything. Stadium counts. This is kind of where I've actually seen a ton of variations in Mega Scizor. Some people that play the Garbodor variant play Silent Lab and Parallels as their stadiums of choice, so that they kind of have a backup if Garbodor gets knocked out. Kind of pushes Shaman's out of being able to be played efficiently. I like Parallel for the Hoopa example I talked about earlier. Also, now going into the Volcanion discussion, Volcanion has actually saw some pretty good results this previous weekend. Between Cobalion giving you a couple turns and limiting the damage of the first attack of Baby Volcanion, you can sometimes just get at 1 or 2 turns where you can actually develop a board, and sometimes you just need that to not just get blown out of the game. It is a very bad matchup for this deck, and I can't overemphasize that enough, but it is one of those matchups where you should be as proactive as you can with approaching the matchup so you just don't get blown out of the game. Something that's pretty easy to do is if you Lysander a Volcanion EX early and kill it and or just damage it heavily. It's normally a sitting 2 free prizes because they won't attach energy to it. They'll just kind of use it for steam up and whatnot. But yeah, it's a bad matchup. I wouldn't recommend just playing it more than learning it and then trying to optimize it. Reverse Valley, it's just kind of a good card baseline. It does reduce the damage you take by 10. A lot of you may be saying, well, why does that matter? 10 damage is 10 damage. Mega Mewtwo and Mega Ray are very good at, well, they only hit very particular numbers with the deck. There's like there's no variations, like they don't play Giovanni or anything. Every so often, between shield energies and a reverse valley, you can actually force them to overcommit or actually just not be able to kill you at all. It's one of those weird areas where Mewtwo would actually, if you have 2 shield energy in play and a reverse valley, they would actually have to attach an extra energy, and that's not always possible. So it is one of those cute little things where the card has shown some value. I wouldn't say it's a card I need to play a lot of. I've played 2 in previous iterations of the list, and I've seen some pretty decent success with it, but it's never been a card that I feel like it's irreplaceable within the list. I feel like you could play more shield energy and it would just be as acceptable. But again, that's something for people to play around with. I'm telling you right now, I would definitely play 3 Stadium in the current format. Yes, you can almost always have Stadium control with Mega Scizor, but being able to balance Stadiums and then discard energy is arguably doing both of your effects at the same time, basically. 2 Flowstone, you need switching cards. Don't have any really good stand-in Pokemon that's easily splashable and effective. Zoroark is a good card, but it's not very effective in this current format, where there's a lot of parallel play for yourself, so you have a very limited bench, which means limiting damage, etc. Spirit Links. A lot of people play 3. I find myself digging for Spirit Links more often than not, so it's one of those cards where I would rather play 4 than 3. If you find yourself always having Spirit Links available, cut this down to 3 and add another card wherever you'd like, whether it be an Enhanced Hammer, a Trainer's Mail, another Mega Turbo, more Shield Energy, and their Center Lady, any of the other cards previously mentioned. Energy Spread. 2 shield energy has been way more than enough to throw some wrenches in people's math. More are obviously better, but we're wanting to enable Mega Turbo, so having a healthy count of steel energy is good. This deck doesn't need a lot of steel energy. Between using 3 Iron Crushers and one Kabalion being putting your opponent on a 7 prize trade setup. That's all your energy. That's actually 8 energy. It's just kind of at the point where you don't need to play very much. I've seen people play less, and I don't find the energy as often a lot, so it'll be a lot harder to enable Mega Turbos. You don't play a lot of Mega Turbos to begin with, because it's not a deck where you have abundant amount of energy that you can put in the discard. So it's just kind of one of those things where 8 has been a very healthy number. I've had more and I've had less, and I would definitely go with this count um, rather than adding a lot more energy and switching up the build. Alright everybody, welcome to Drop Ass YouTube channel. Today we are going to be playing Mega Scizor versus Mega Ray. Probably two of the bigger hype decks of the 2016 standard format. And I have Steve Guthrie here with me today. He's going to be taking the punishment.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Probably. I mean, this is a pretty bad matchup.
What's the plan?
Hey, look, we have the same 3 types.
Oh boy. So one of the
Heads, Lugia. Yeah.
Dang, got him.
That's what I'm talking about. Now I can get my double colorless hammered off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Correct.
Oh, Mully.
I did not.
Okay. That was hilarious when you messaged me and said, you free or football wife? I was like, not for a few hours.
Jokes. My opening hand's like pretty okay.
Alrighty. This
is for now.
I mean, this is like I don't have the worst hand. Like this is actually playable. Okay. What do I do with this? I guess we play this thing.
You pass.
It's not terrible. Dang, what do I do with this? I think I'm just gonna hex you. Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Okay.
Shield energy, yo.
Bring in the shields, yo.
Center lady. Big shield Gardner.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. I forgot all your Scizors are full art.
Yeah.
Actually, no wait. Do you play a 4/4 or a 3/3?
4/3.
4/3? Okay. I picked up a 3/3 Scizor line in a trade over the weekend. Like in real life. Because I had no Scizors. So
yeah, I think just playing 4/3 is fine because you always want to have a Scizor in play, and its second attack is good. So.
Oh yeah, yeah it is. Okay, so colorless energy that I held for a turn, so you couldn't hammer it. Let's go Floatstone, Shaman. Okay, there we go. Go Raylink. Let's do. God, I wish I had a metal energy in my hand. Let's do these two. Where's the Ringmaster? Oh, sorry, I just heard my wife say something to my son, just made me chuckle.
No, you're good.
Why is that card always prized? I swear to God.
Or Magearna.
Yes, it's in the freaking prizes again.
It's literally the first target I'd kill.
Yeah.
You put it down.
I was gonna say, because you can't discard energies off Ray if Magearna's down.
Well, with attacks, I can still use hammers.
Yeah, you can still use hammers. Let's do that. Still need to find a way to get a metal energy in the ditch.
If I had started a hex, I would have hexed you last turn.
God, this is just delicious.
Slurp it up. Somebody's got a spare link or a turbo.
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Ditto Chew. That's cute.
Yeah, that's my fun little tech for this list.
Cute.
So solid. We got this one, and we got a Sycamore. Not gonna lie, I drew pretty well.
Yeah, it's fine. House is on fire. It's fine.
Boom.
For 210.
that's fine. That's still enough.
Yep. Okay.
Parallel City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Easy.
I wouldn't really expect anything else. I mean,
Easy parallel turn.
2, 3. Okay, no, this is worth it. You know what? You're running an evolution deck, so screw the Cavalion. And God, I really want to use that because I actually feel like we both play Metal Energy, but God damn. Ah, fudge. Which
Just
one do I
dream
dis?
dance me. It's fine. I dare
No,
you.
I am gonna discard the Ditto because if you that way, at least if Shield Energy, I have a play.
Hmm.
Damn. Yeah, saw that coming. Yeah, my prizes were Mega Rayquaza and Mega Turbo.
Yeah. I hit a what's it called Mega Scizor off of the what's it called, but it just no Spirit Link.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Ah,
Yeah.
dang.
We there. We
Here,
in there.
here comes the Hoopa.
I discarded Hoopa already, sir.
Oh yeah, that's right. See, I'm playing Ray, so I immediately think that there's just like almost infinite Hoopas, and then I realize I'm like, oh yeah, not everybody plays like 3 Hoopas or whatever.
True.
Xander Bennett dot deck.
Xander Bennett life.
3 Hoopa, yeah.
Actually, his whole existence. So
It's three
that
Hoopas.
was the turn I wanted. Now the real question is, can you actually retaliate?
I don't know. That's the question. I mean, obviously I can search stuff, but I lost 5 basic Pokemon.
Right.
Like that's a lot.
And two of them were
And
shamans, which is where like feel okay about that turn. And I end you. All of that happened.
yeah, you don't have a you don't have a shield energy on there for me to Stardust you.
Yeah.
All right, that's got to go down. Let me see. What do we have? God, I hate to do that, but I feel like it's almost necessary. This is gonna look really silly, but oh god. Okay, so I don't think there's absolutely. I don't think there's any way I can. I think there's only one way that I can actually KO you this turn. That I can
Hitting a
win.
super odd into another ultra
Yeah,
ball.
I have to super out into the Hoopa. Because my prize, okay, I don't think that's happening. My prizes are just absolutely atrocious right now. Whiff. Um. Okay. Let's see, we do have a Sycamore down there.
So I played a game online yesterday,
Oh,
and
I
I
should have.
actually had
That's
two shield energy, and a reverse valley in play, and I could not die. It was pretty funny.
dang. That's pretty funny.
My opponent was a little salty. He's like,
Yeah, just a little bit.
"How do you hit your 2-1-0 shield energy?" I'm just like, I did. Get over it.
Yeah, I know, right? Cry me a river.
Variance. Too bad.
Alrighty. Let's do that. Uh,
Where's a zero sick? Where's a zero sick? To
Hoopa.
me have it.
Shaman. Back in the deck. Um,
More spirit links.
all of the spirit links.
Sure.
Um, oh, it's so terrible. No matter what oh, I'm just raped. No matter what, I'm just gonna let you kill this one.
Cool.
God, I need Karen.
Not here. It will be for Florida, which
Rip
is the
my life.
one my one like concern with this.
Yeah, Karen just pushes this deck even higher.
Sure.
No, it really does.
No, I'm. That was not a sarcastic.
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
that was a. I am certain. I know.
Yeah.
Like without question, that card is good.
Yeah. What was it you guys said the thing was out already? And I went and looked for it, and then I didn't find it, and I was like, where is it? And I looked up the release date, and it's the 21st. I was like, yeah, that's not out. Might have leaked into a few stores, though. Wouldn't surprise me. Ah, you dick.
Teehee.
Yeah, it's okay. I was doing that to a Ray player with Scizor. It was pretty funny.
Pretty good. Would do again.
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, Rip. God, so
That was what
bad.
your top deck was.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the worst thing ever. I suppose we can go and try to do some damage here.
See how far that gets you.
Not very far in the grand scheme of things.
Dang.
Phew. Really did not want to be out of all of my energy right there.
I would have liked that, though.
I prized Magirna and two Hoopas.
Not complaining at all. Just would have liked it. That's
Ah,
all.
you're a dick. My hand was double colorless in VS Seeker.
I figured you had something, Steve. Like,
Yeah. No, I top decked the metal energy last turn. I was gonna have to go two double colorless and just be shit out of luck when you attacked me, and that didn't happen.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like all these double colorless in my discard pile.
Special charge.
Yeah, I need to find that right now.
10 cards left in deck. Drawing 4.
10.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Um, I don't want to do that as my last one. Let's do this.
Jam for 2.
Rip. Total whifferoni.
On a good side note, if you chose to take a knockout this turn, or you choose to not take a knockout this turn, I basically have game.
Yeah, I know. I have to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I have 8 cards left in the deck. So we can use Misty for this.
Solid. You get that DC.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Don't even have to put a Skyfield into play. That's the best part.
It's pretty good. Now I bop your face with a Cabalion, though.
What?
Now I get to destroy your life with a Cabalion.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of blood.
Oh, yep. Very.
Oh, not the Hex Maniac.
Revenge Blast!
Again, no freaking special energy. Starting to think I should have kept the Ditto in play. Okay.
I mean, you would have just been able to copy my quick
I can
guard.
copy either one of your attacks.
Really? Even with
Yeah.
one energy? You don't have to have the
No,
cost?
just have to use 2 energy, that's all.
Oh, that's cool.
I actually run one of those Cabalions in here, too.
I saw that. You started it.
Yeah, it's in the sinkhole. Alright, so we're gonna Super Rod again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's do that. I guess better late than never.
Hey, Magirna. What's up?
And we'll draw 3. Oh, fudge! Curse you and your stupid Hex Maniac and my bad playing. Because I just suck at Pokemon, and yeah.
I mean, did you even have a supporter to play?
I have a VS Seeker.
I mean, okay. So you can still Sycamore.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. That's maybe a thing. Let me see.
Oh, you don't
You
even
have
have an end to change my hand up.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. You have 5 cards in your hand, and you
I'm,
haven't played a Mega Turbo yet.
I mean, I played one Mega Turbo and I have a Lysander. That's why I was like, oh, cool. So,
Um, one, two. I check the discard pile again. 3, 4, 5. Ah, god damn it.
counting energy.
I do have an energy. It's just, um, attached. Jeez.
Man over here making some plays, guys.
Because I just suck at this, but I didn't really have a good play for that turn. Like, I could have Sycamored myself down to 2 cards and tried to hit something, but I don't really know how much it would have done.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to Shaman next turn anyway. Unless I had. Well, I'd have to hold the Magirna in hand.
Yeah. You literally have no cards in hand.
I have nothing.
If you luck sack me off of this, I'd be very upset. But I think, oh, my better play is this, I guess.
Yes, Seeker. Yeah. Yeah, because literally all you need is an energy.
I had one left in deck though. If I had whiffed it, I'd have been super ticked off. There we go.
Playing the hammer.
Yep.
That actually probably. Well, no way, because I actually did put a another energy back in the deck.
That's why I was like, I swear, if you luck sack me, I'd be very
My
pissed.
charge is prized.
Gotcha.
The last 2 prizes.
This game was a lot
That's
closer than I wanted because of draws.
yes.
Okay. See, what a luck sacked.
I mean, I could get cute here, but I can't really do anything about it. You have 7 cards left in deck. I have 6. I mean, I only have the 1 energy left. I think.
Yeah, should be. You have 4 DCs in
I
the
mean,
ditch.
like I could attach it and I could retreat, but I can't really do anything after that
You've
because I can't get to my special charge.
Yeah, I have a VS Seeker left too, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna intensifying burn for 0 because your stadium's gonna say no to that 10 damage.
yep. Good game. All right, game 2.
Yep, indeed. That was really close considering you paralleled me twice.